satisfied. Do, 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 do. Do. Hey, now walk it out. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Tips, Topics, and Talk. Come on in here, YouTube. Come on in here, Facebook. Come on in here, TikTok. And let's get to holding some true and real conversation about what's happening in the world. Y'all come on in here. Let's get some news and information that you can use. I'm going to grab my coffee. I encourage you to grab your coffee, grab your water, grab your ice water. Y'all know what it is. If you've been on Tips, Topics, and Talk before, you already know that that's what we do. Grab your hot coffee. This is your midday edition of Tips, Topics, and Talk. Normally I'm on in the morning. For the past couple of days, I've been doing like this whole going live midday to kind of see what my numbers look like. Y'all have shown me that my numbers look better in the midday. All right, so they not only look better midday, but they also look better. Let me switch. Let me check this light. I need to check that. All right, we're gonna check that. We're gonna turn on this light so we have a little bit more lighting going on. There we go. Let's get this spot. What is it? Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. All right. Now, what's going on, y'all? I'm having my breakfast / lunch. I usually try to eat 1 to 2 times a day because otherwise I'd probably be as wide as this counter if I did not. So y'all come on in here. Let other people know that we are live. Again, this is Tips, Topics, and Talk. We're going to be talking about what's happening in the news and information that you can use. Most definitely, you want to kind of hang tight with us today because we're going down the rabbit hole of some things so you all can kind of be abreast of what is happening in the US of A and beyond. And then we're going to be talking about some things that I'm going to be doing here in the Brownstone in terms of home care. We're getting ready for spring. Some of you all might have noticed that the weather has changed where you are. I know for me, it has absolutely changed, which is a good thing. Now it's a little chilly today around 1 o'clock or so. So, but the past couple of days, y'all, it has been absolutely balmy outside in the 70s, 75, 76. And I'm absolutely enjoying the weather. So let's go ahead and get this party started. Number one. My name is Paulette. I am the owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide, which houses, of course, you guessed it, brownstoneworldwide.com, Cityscape Radio, the podcasting app and website, as well as Brownstone Living Magazine. Of course, you already know I'm getting ready to show y'all what the cover of Brownstone Living Magazine looks like this month. I hope that you all are ready for that. Now, if you want your free digital copy of Brownstone Living Magazine, what I encourage you to do is to head over to my stand store that is above my head. If you are on Facebook, there is a link that is already there, and you can go ahead and check it out for yourself. All right, let's see. Here we go. Here is Brownstone Living Magazine for the month. I did it again. Hold on, let's go back. Here's Brownstone Living Magazine for the month of February. So I have to go across. Let's go this way. You see that? Okay, on the cover we have the CEO and founder of Urban Intellectuals, Mr. Freddie Taylor. He is on our cover. We're really excited to have him be on the cover, but what I really like about this is if you need to or want to check out his interview as well as other things inside of Brownstone Living Magazine, you can absolutely do that right here by just tapping on the bottom of the screen, and then some extra little cubes are going to pull up and you'll be able to go directly where you want to go. Okay. Something else that this does too, if you don't want to do that and you don't want to use the thumbnails, and you just want to see the video gallery, our video gallery pops up as well. and you can actually watch some of our people in the neighborhood, like Leanne Dulce, and we also have Dr. Michelle Josie. We have Coach Kiana Shaw and licensed marriage family therapist Danielle Lipkin, and Tino and Dr. Taffy. We've got DJ Tony Sanchez and Sharonda Seeley, the Nicole Walters of the Wealthy Women's Lifestyle, who are people in the neighborhood who have podcast shows right here. You can always check out my interviews with some of our past covers right here within the magazine itself, and you just press play on any one of the videos that you want to see without actually leaving the magazine. How cool is that? Then you can get over to checking out the inside of the magazine as well. Of course, y'all know I'm gonna always talk about that first, right? So you can always head over and see what's on the inside. Y'all hear that? I know you do. All right, so go ahead and get your free digital copy of Brownstone Living Magazine. It is in my stand store on today. All right, now let's get back into a couple of things. If you are new here, one of the things that we do, no matter what time of day that it is we always say, grab your coffee and grab your water. Whatever your ice water has in it, okay? Mine has electrolytes, and it has my favorite. This is not a shameless plug, but it kind of is. I am not paid to talk about this, but this Natural Vitality Calm, it's a magnesium supplement. It does exactly what it says it does, okay? Calms my nerves, okay? I put that in my water, stir it up just a little bit. I'm good to go for the rest of the day. If you have your vitamins or whatever you're going to be utilizing, let's go ahead and get started. And you also see I got my lunch. So I have my lunch, and we're going to go through the news. We're going to go through the information, but then also something else. Grab something to write with and something to write on, because we are also going to be doing our 6 list for the day. Now, y'all, it's 1:15. If you have not, 1:15 Eastern Standard Time, if you have not done your 6 list for the day and it's 1:15, let's go ahead and do it together, okay? Let's do that. All right, now, let's talk about what's happening with our grocery prices, shall we? Before we get started, go ahead and tap on that screen. Let other people know that you are here. We're going to be talking about all of the things that matter to you on today. On today, like they say in the church, when in all actuality, it's today. All right, so first thing we're going to be talking about is major grocery chains have literally started limiting the amount of eggs you can purchase. Did y'all hear about this? Yeah. So let's talk about that, shall we? Major grocers are actually enforcing egg limits. So a couple of days ago, I went live and I told you all that there's this actual video of a family of people that went into a Costco and literally grabbed an entire pallet of eggs and went to the front to try to purchase them. And the people got mad and started trying to fight. And they literally were pushing and shoving each other over eggs. Now, I know in previous television shows or movies where we see things that are happening in this post-apocalypse apocalypse world, we always see people arguing or physically accosting each other over limited goods. Well, I thought to myself, this has got to be a TV show. No, ma'am, it was not. No, sir, it was not. So eggs are growing more expensive. Y'all, I believe right now the eggs that I saw the other day for a dozen were like $12.67 for a dozen. Okay. And they're more scarce. So here's what major grocery chains, including Costco, especially after that previous incident, have placed limits on the number of cartons shoppers can buy due to the shortages caused by the bird flu. Now, at Trader Joe's, customers can't purchase more than 12 eggs per day. I ain't say dozen, 12 eggs per day. While some Kroger locations have a 2 dozen cutoff. Egg prices, which jumped 14% in 1 month, are expected to climb another 20% this year, leading some restaurants to add an egg surcharge. Now, hey Jennifer, how are you? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome everybody. Let everybody know that you're currently watching Tips, Topics, and Talk. Thanks so much for joining us. We're on YouTube right now. We're on Facebook and TikTok, all 3 at the same time. Let me find another camera in this house. Matter of fact, I think I got one. And it'll be 4. All right. Thanks so much for the likes. I appreciate that. All right. Let's see. So the local restaurants here, Waffle House. Now I live in Atlanta, South Atlanta, and Waffle House sent out a letter, and it's on the front of their doors, and it says that they're going to start charging 50 cents per egg surcharge. Did y'all hear what I just said? 50 cents per egg extra. So I'm walking down in the downtown area where I live, and there's another restaurant. It's what's the name of that restaurant? What is it called? The Corner Cafe is charging 50%, a 50 cent surcharge per egg. So if you like eggs with anything that you're doing, you're gonna pay for it, okay? Because they're having to incur that charge. Thank you so much for that. They're going to provide that charge directly to you. Thank you for the gifts on TikTok. I appreciate that. So y'all, I need you all to be aware. Get real creative on how you get your protein. And while I'm playing, listen, let me tell you something that I did. I made 2 eggs this morning. Not 2 wings like the gospel song says. Remember that? 2 eggs. Because I'm doing more protein, high protein, trying to get some things right, because middle age is doing some stuff. I don't know what this is. What is this? What's happening? I don't understand. But because of that, I increased the amount of protein that I'm getting, and I use eggs as one of my supplements. With my keto slice of toast and my 100% grass-fed butter, I'm good to go. But now I'm going to have to find another way to get that additional protein. Let's be clear. Eggs, one large egg only has like 6 grams of protein. And so, for every pound that you weigh, you're literally supposed to have 1 gram of protein. So I'm way under what I need, and I actually need to increase the amount of protein that I'm having per day. So once again, welcome to those of you all who are joining us. And thank you for, getting other people to join in, because what we're talking about today, you definitely need to hear. Okay. For those of you all who are not familiar with Tips, Topics, and Talk, Tips, Topics, and Talk is a part of Brownstone Worldwide. I'm the owner and founder of BrownstoneWorldwide.com, Cityscape Radio, and Brownstone Living Magazine, which you can get your free digital copy in my stand store right now. I've been researching is so talking about that today and what you need to know. It's actually sponsored by the Republicans. This is not the first time that it has come up in the House, but be careful with that, okay? That's my job, is to make sure that information that you're hearing, somebody has to dig a little bit deeper so that you're clear, okay? Egypt and Jordan are declining your current administration's desire to move the Palestinians to their area. We're going to be talking about that as well. We're going to be talking about this Target. Let's talk about this. Target has this, everybody's boycotting right now. Now we need to talk about that, because we got Pastor Carlton Lynch, who decided to go into Target and make a mess. That's what a boycott is, and we need to be careful. If we say we are not our ancestors, we might need to go back a little bit and see exactly how they were creating good trouble, okay? And let's talk about the Gulf of America. Have y'all seen y'all maps lately? Okay, all right. I saw the map. We're going to talk about that too. All of the information that I'm sharing with you today will, again, of course, be on brownstoneworldwide.com later on today for you to review. And lastly, big shout out to Miss Cutterbutter. Don't know if she's in the room or not, but I am literally writing this one myself for Brownstone Worldwide. I did indicate I was going to be sharing information about how to get into the artificial intelligence industry or learning language model industry, even if it is entry level, so we can start making some extra coinage in these streets. All right. So I don't know about anybody else, but I need an egg alternative in the meantime. Okay. All right. Now, Temu's post-tariffs business model. Let's talk about Temu, because a lot of us who are on TikTok especially, right? A lot of the products that we promote as affiliates are literally going to be impacted, if not already, by this tariff. So Temu is actually going to be shifting its business model in response to this new U.S. tariff. on items imported from China. Where the shopping app used to handle pricing, shipping, and marketing for sellers, it's now encouraging vendors to transition to a half custody arrangement. Y'all listening to this? Ready? In which Temu manages only the marketplace, citing anonymous sources from Bloomberg. Now, what that means is vendors that bulk ship inventory to the U.S. warehouses will be prioritized in the app, with American shoppers likely paying more as a result. Y'all saw that coming, right? Hey, Deals with Nia, come on in this room and let other people know that we're here. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon for Tips, Topics, and Talk. Temu is getting ready to enforce and make large bulk items that are being shipped to the U.S. a priority, and we're going to pay the price. If you shop with Temu, I do not, okay? I took one order from Temu just to see what the quality of the product was. Happy Tuesday to you too. And let me be clear. This was when I had a physical store. I used to have a little store. I had a storefront. All of that opened up on Friday to Saturday at this little flea market. And I ordered some products from Temu. And they were these satchel bags, right? When I closed down my store, I still had every last one of those satchel bags. Most of the products that I ordered that, customers were saying that they wanted when I had my store, I still have those. Can't move them. Got them on Amazon Marketplace. So let's be clear. People understand and recognize quality as opposed to not. And again, I only spent like maybe $40 or something because I had like this half off coupon or something. You know what I mean? Now, that's not to say that the water bottles that I had didn't sell. And I had like these cute little keychains. Matter of fact, I think I still got one around here somewhere. A couple of keychains and stuff. Those sold really well. But otherwise, yeah. Anyway, so let me see. Somebody's sending me some messages. Let's see what they say. Y'all been sending me messages too, and I appreciate that. That's how I got some of the news that I got today. Let's talk about this real quick. This just in. Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance currently has the same amount of views it took, hey Tino, it took Usher 11 months to reach in one day. They not like us. They're not like us. They're not like us. I'm just saying. That says a lot for someone that is not supposed to have done well, but apparently it's doing well. How about that? All right. Well, once again, right. Okay, let's do that again. They not like us. They not A minor. Just had to say that. So if you have your Kendrick Lamar music or your albums or whatever, go ahead and pull them out and do what you need to do. How's that? Now, let's talk about Meta. Meta is doing more layoffs. Wonder what's going on there. Let's talk about that, Sherry. Shall we? So, a round of layoffs affecting about, sit down, be humble, 3,600 employees is underway at Meta. Okay? With some affected employees receiving emails as early as yesterday. Business Insider is actually the reporter on this, citing anonymous sources. Meta had said in January that the redundancy would affect 5% of its workforce and target low performers, prompting speculation that the staffers might not receive severance. However, U.S. employees will receive at least 16 weeks salary, and they'll lose their benefits right away. So like they'll get, of course, like the whole, you can use Cobra or whomever, or go to the healthcare marketplace and replace what you do not have. Meta will replace laid off employees with machine learning engineers, which takes me to the topic that we talked about on Monday, yesterday, which was AI learning, right? We talked about that. Did you hear what I just read? Meta will replace laid off employees with machine learning engineers. How many of us in this vicinity of the platforms that I'm currently on, where you're watching, are you learning AI? Are you learning LLM? Remember I talked about that? I sure did. You need to be trying to pick it up somewhere. Grab your coffee, take a sip. All right. I just thought that I would bring that up because this is not the end, because you got to also remember you're learning. Yes. If you are not learning, I'm going to be sharing with you on brownstoneworldwide.com probably by the end of the day. And I'll share with you all where you can get some of this learning. Now, for a couple of us, or for some of you all who have an employer, or if you have LinkedIn Learning, they have a ton of education on AI. There's also Udemy. I'll be sharing some of that information. E-learning is another one that has it as well. And there are others that actually teach you the basics of AI. And you can actually get into the industry after getting your little certificate. And you can get into, and you don't even need to have it, because what they're looking for really is experience. Here's something else I learned too, digging down the rabbit hole like I like to do to give y'all the facts, is if you have a programmer's background and if you have a DBA background, this is a good place for you to be, because a lot of what you'll be doing as a LLM engineer or on the back end is you'll be working with the data. And one of the things as a DBA is backstory. In my previous life, I was a senior systems engineer and I was a DBA. The basics are learning SQL. That's the name of the language, okay? Learning SQL. And then another one is Python. If you know those two languages, you have a really good background to start. But then there's something else too. You ain't even got to know that. If you know how to talk to somebody and give good instruction, you can literally get into the AI industry. And I know that because I know someone right now that's literally created entire shows and programs and music. Even I myself have used AI in other things. So you don't have to have that programmer background like maybe myself or somebody else has, but most definitely learn as much as you possibly can about the AI industry, which is why I'll be finishing up that article for you guys, and I'll drop the link so you all can go and check it out later, because it's important. And I don't want anybody to get left behind, especially knowing that as social media changes and we're going to be using it in different and better and more ways, as we start to see what's happening with TikTok, we're going to start using it in other ways as well. Let's talk about that really quick. And I wasn't going to go down this rabbit hole, but I need y'all to hear me and understand, TikTokers, that if you have not already started migrating your content and letting your followers and your friends know where you are in other spaces, now is the time for you to do that. Remember, we're on borrowed time on TikTok right now, okay? And what I want you all to hear me on this is this. I have said it before, I'll say it again. Not near one of these platforms is yours. These are not your platforms. Okay, you use these to be the Pied Piper to get people where you want to take them to your own platform, to your Substack, to your Beehive, to your email list. The money that you want to generate is literally in the list. It's literally in the list. Your job is to continue to drive the people where you want to get them. I'm giving up free game right now for somebody that's trying to figure out what their next steps is going to be in terms of how am I going to make money? How am I going to continue to do what I'm doing? Easy. Drive the people where you want to drive them and nowhere else. That's going to be important. So where am I going to drive you to? Here's your call to action right now. Well, what's up, everybody? I'm Paulette, the owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide, Cityscape Radio, the podcasting app and website of the same name, as well as Brownstone Living Magazine. You can go ahead and get your free digital copy of Brownstone Living Magazine for the month of February, our Black History edition, with Mr. Freddie Taylor, CEO and founder of, you guessed it, Urban Intellectuals. Hey there, cousin, how are you? Who is giving you these amazing Black History flashcards. And there's tons of them that you can get. He also has these amazing games. Head on over to urbanintellectuals.com and get you some, okay? Go ahead and get these. I currently have Volume 2, Women. I also have Afro-Latina Caribbean. And then thank you so much, Deals with Mia. And then I have Volume 1 right here, okay? So go ahead and get yours and get excited about that. What else in Black history are we talking about today? We are talking about this adorable little book. Thank you. I appreciate that. Title, come on, big shout out to Deals with Nia. You want those? This is what I need you to do. I need you to head over to urbanintellectuals.com and get you some. See, I'm even directing you to somebody else's website, but the brother stuff is good. Now, here's something else. If you want to see my interview with Mr. Freddie Taylor, I need you to head over to brownstoneworldwide.com and go to BWTV. His interview is there. And you can also check us out, of course, on YouTube of the same name, Brownstone Worldwide. Here is our adorable Black History Book of the Day by Rio Cortez, illustrated by Lauren Simmer. All of a sudden I hear butterfly in the sky. I can fly twice as high. Take a look. It's in our book. A reading rainbow. I can go anywhere. Remember that? Y'all remember that? Okay. Shout out to whoever that sister was that sung that. I've actually seen her. Your childhood, you remember that? Girl. So anyway, this is history is not the past. It is the present. We carry our history with us. We are our history. And that is quoted by Mr. James Baldwin. So this book right here is the ABCs of Black history. So A, the letter A right there. And then it gives you A is for anthem, the Black history, the Black American anthem, right? Which is lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Remember that? Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let out B. B is for beautiful. See that? So if you want this book, I'm going to go ahead and put the link for this particular book in my Stan store as well. So you can go ahead and support Rio Cortez and this adorable Black history, the ABCs of Black history there as well. Okay. All right. Now let's get back into, y'all, I'm saving the best for last. Okay. Let's get back into some more news and information that you can use. Y'all ready? I don't even say this man's name. Y'all hear me? Let's see. I'm ashamed that I've never heard that song before. Thank you for your content. Oh, James, it's okay. Y'all want me to finish singing it? I'm learning so much. Also, you have a beautiful voice. Thank you. Oh, thank you, James. Y'all want me to finish singing? I can. Sing a song. Who want to sing it with me? Full of the... Okay. All right. We're gonna leave it alone. We're gonna sing it together. Yes. We're gonna sing it together. All right. But that is the Black National Anthem. And I remember I was at a dinner the year that President Barack Obama was elected. And he had just been inaugurated, and I was at an event he had just been elected. And every year, this organization that I was a part of at the time would have this huge dinner. We were raising money for scholarships, and they did like this whole thing and there's literally two stanzas of the song itself, and they played the whole thing, and they went through all of the struggles of Black history, from us being taken from Africa to being brought over here, to the raping and pillaging and all of the things that have happened to us, and building this country on the backs of our ancestors and so forth, which brings us back to they not like us. They not like us. Don't ever think that brother wasn't doing his homework before he did the Super Bowl performance. Go back and watch it if you felt like full of the hope that the dark has brought us. Sing a song. Yes, okay. You shouldn't have done that, Deals with Nia. All right. All right. So, and that song came on, and there was not a dry eye in the place, because at the end, the song says, they sing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Boy, when I tell you, and then they had the kids with the band and they were singing along, and Barack Obama's face came up on the screen. It was poetry. It was absolute poetry, because it was like, yes. And there was a lot of older people who literally like were in tears so much they had to go and, give them Kleenex and so forth. And it was so moving, so moving, because a lot of these people had marched and got us to where we were able to have those jobs and be seen and so forth. But we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. We're getting ready to talk about your boy over here, Mr. Elon. Y'all ready? Let's go. You ready? Investors led by Elon Musk submitted a $97.4 billion offer for control of OpenAI. Okay. Now, that's according to the Wall Street Journal. In a statement, Musk said it's time for OpenAI to return to the open source, safety-focused force for good it once was. He is actually among OpenAI's actual founders, but he left and has since founded his own AI company, xAI. Now, in his response, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman told CNBC Tuesday that he doesn't take the bid particularly seriously, viewing it as an attempt to slow down a competitor. And that's kind of what this sounds like, doesn't it? It sounds like this dude is like, okay, no. I want to do all I can to do what I can. So in essence, I need to stay in this lane because the director of Tesla has begun selling off some of her shares of Tesla. His brother has done the same. Have y'all heard about this? Y'all stay with me. Follow me. Let's go down the rabbit hole just a little bit. I understand, according to my news sources, that the amount of shares that she has sold is over like 34 million that she has sold. Now, that doesn't mean anything to anybody, but when the brother and the director or the CEO of Tesla start selling off shares, start paying attention. Start paying attention. Take a look. Take a look at the indices for Tesla to see for yourself exactly what is going on. Why is this important? Because while he is doing his so-called due diligence as an unelected official that has been given security clearance over your coins, your money, your information, and he and his little 19 and 20-year-old cronies are in there doing whatever they're doing with our information. Now, here, pause. Let me stop here. I want you all to understand, if you do not know, for those of you all who are not aware, this man has been given carte blanche to go into USAID, right? USAID, somebody was trying to call me. USAID and other federal agencies and do an audit. I want y'all to understand that this audit is supposed to be catching all of these funds that we as taxpayers have been paying out to other countries for other things. Okay? Here's something I need y'all also to understand. We have to play along to get along. I never said that I did not agree with an audit being done, but you do not audit and rip apart entire organizations that have been around for decades in one day. You don't do that. So something's awry. You can't get audited by the IRS, one individual, in a day. Y'all need to hear me. Not only that, you have not been confirmed. If you have not been elected, what are you doing over there? And why are you in my business? And as I've read, some people say, you don't even go here. Okay? You don't even go here. So what are we allowing to happen? And why are our leaders in Congress and the Senate on both sides so quiet? Y'all not asking no questions, but we sure worried about what's happening with what happened at the Super Bowl and what's happening with the housewives of and so forth. We need to be worried about what's happening with this country because you're watching it in real time. History is repeating itself and no one's talking. I'm talking. But what I want you to understand is I'm not going to give you my opinion because I got a ton of them. I want you all to hear me when I give you information and facts, and what you do with it is up to you. I hope that makes sense. If you got your water, go on ahead and take a little sip. All right, that was refreshing. Now, let's also talk about, I got time today. Producers bracing for the tariff impact. We know what tariffs are now, right? If you do not, you can head over to brownstoneworldwide.com and you can get more information about what a tariff is. Why is this important? Because what is happening is this man has said we're going to impose 25% tariff on products that are coming to the U.S. Those companies are not going to take that hit. You are. American citizens, you are. Now, European officials vowed retaliation today after President DJT announced that the U.S. will place 25% tariffs on all steel and aluminum. Now, that's going to be effective this month. The move aims to boost domestic producers by deterring global competition, allowing them to raise prices. With the two metals serving as key production components, the tariffs could raise the cost of making anything from cars to oil rigs to infrastructure projects, ultimately hitting consumer prices. That's exactly what's going to happen. Can I keep it 100 with y'all? Let's go here. Let's go down the rabbit hole so we can talk a little bit freely about what y'all getting ready to see happen. Because it's happened already. I need you all to hear me on this. You ready? Here's what's going to happen and happening. Remember during COVID, pay attention. I like to bring up this topic. When COVID first hit, before COVID hit, I got bonuses. Not much. Oh, that's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Somebody's talking to me, y'all. You said, woo, listen, y'all ready? Here we go. During COVID, before COVID, when the kids were in high school, now everybody grown stuff, but anyway, I used to buy this 18 pack of potato chips for the kids. It was Lay's, right? And then it was like $4.98 for a pack of 18. And it was the name brand kind. It wasn't the store-bought, it was the name brand kind. Now, what I would do is I would buy it, and it would usually, last in this house with teenagers a week. But it was cool because, take a bag to school, come home, have a bag, right? And $4.98, that was nothing for me to go and get another bag. Well, during COVID, guess what they did? They raised the price. And guess what's happened? It's never gone down since. Now, that same 18 pack of name brand potato chips and snacks and pretzels and so forth, y'all know what I'm talking about. What is it, like $10 now? And in some areas, they're $15. So I started getting the store-bought bread. Now, here's the thing. Here's what I want y'all to hear me on. Not only did we see an increase in just potato chips and snacks, we started to see an increase in all of the products. You know why they did it? It wasn't because they had to offset costs. It's $17 for that chip pack near me. See what I'm saying? Did y'all hear that? She said $17. Isn't that crazy? 17. So I'm not crazy because I thought it was like 15 here for that same one. So you hear what I'm saying? But if you went through the store, you noticed that the increase was on everything. So I used to buy like these little boxes of cakes, keep a box of chocolate cake, vanilla, whatever. Y'all notice that price? I could get one of those for 98 cents, sometimes two for 98 cents. Guess what? They're $1.98 now. You think that doesn't add up because, it's just $1.98. But imagine the millions of those that are still being sold by these major corporations. Think about that. You ever thought about that? Who is that? Hey, Jacima. I hope I said that right. Charge it to my eyes and not my heart, right? Here's my point and why I'm bringing that up. Because what's happened is these major big box retailers and the manufacturers of these products that we consume on a regular basis, they have figured out that we gonna buy it anyway. Are you following where I'm going with this? So now you got this tariff that's coming, okay? You thought that the prices never came back down after this so-called scarcity during COVID, which really didn't exist, right? Because they were still able to produce what they needed to. But you thought that the tariff was going to be impactful. You ain't seen nothing yet, because it's not just going to impact steel and aluminum. It's not just going to impact the things that are coming from other countries. It's going to impact here because major corporations have figured out that we go buy it anyway. You know I'm not wrong. You know I'm not wrong. So how do we offset that? Number one, what does your bulk storage look like for the items that you currently have in your home? Number two, if you don't know what a surplus grocery store looks like, find you one. I found one. I literally can go to the grocery store with $30 and get about $150 worth of food. And it is not a church. It is not a charity. It is a surplus grocery store where they sell the deemed boxes and things like that that don't look pretty on the shelves. Okay? Find you one. Number two, shop local where you can. Number three, if you do not have a garden, get you one. I'm so serious. Now, what I'm also going to be doing over the weekend is two things. This weekend, I'm going to be sharing my Valentine's Day. I did like this whole Valentine's show, and I'm going to be sharing with you all. It's called What's for Brunch? A Valentine's Day brunch. You'll be able to check that out. Up next on Brownstone Worldwide is Dr. Michelle Josie and her show, Numbers Don't Lie. And then later on this afternoon at 4 p.m. is The Real on Parenting. And the name of this week's show, oh my God, is called When Your Ex Still Wants You. Once again, I'm Paulette. You're watching Tips, Topics, and Talk, your midday show for today. And I'm a part of Brownstone Worldwide, which houses brownstoneworldwide.com, Cityscape Radio, the app, and the website of the same name, as well as Brownstone Living Magazine. If you want your free copy, the digital copy is in my stand store right now. If you're on Facebook, you can go ahead and get it actually on the screen. All right. Now, I need you all to hear me. We're getting ready to start talking about the SAVE Act. How many of you all have heard about the SAVE Act? Have you heard about it? So it's all the rage, especially if you're on TikTok. They've been talking about it, but they've been giving you wrong information. Okay. So I want to make sure that you're getting the right information. Why is this important? Because I don't want us out here sharing wrong information. Okay. So let's talk about what the SAVE Act is. So the SAVE Act is literally HR 22, and it is House Bill. What's the number on it? House Bill, let's see. Well, it's HR 22. It's called the SAVE Act. Now, there's more than one version of this bill, but the most recent one is to amend the National Voter Registration Act of 1993. Listen closely. To require proof of United States citizenship to register an individual to vote in elections for federal office and for other purposes. The rumor that I've been hearing online is you want to be able to take away married women's rights to vote. It could definitely go down that road. But here's something I want you all to understand. It has not passed the House. It was introduced. It was introduced, okay? When was it introduced? January 3rd. Not today. Okay? Where am I getting this information? Congress.gov. Right here. It's right here. I'm reading it to you from the website. You see that? There it is. I'm not making this up. I didn't type this up. This is coming directly from the website. Now, it was introduced, and the sponsor is Representative Roy Chip. He is a Republican from Texas, the 21st District. The committee is the House. And again, it was introduced. So let's go down, and here it is. To amend the National Voter Registration Act of 1993 to require proof of United States citizenship to register an individual to vote in elections for federal offices and for other purposes. Listen closely. Are we ready? Here's why this is important. Ensuring only citizens are registered to vote in elections for federal office. Basically, what that means is when you go to register to vote, you need to take your document, your birth certificate with your first and last name that you were given to go and register to vote. You have to do it in person. What they want to do is take away the ability for you to be able to register using mail. They want you to come in. They want you to have your actual documents in order to do that. Well, there are a couple of hiccups with that, and y'all already know what it is, right? So number one, women who have been married, this is where there's this caveat. There's like this little nugget in there that they're hoping that people will miss is that if you got married, if you're married, 9 times out of 10 as a woman, you took your spouse's last name, right? So you can't register to vote according to what this is saying if your last name is not the same that is on your birth certificate. Now that can impact more than just women, but I want us to be very careful in identifying that this has not passed the House. It has been introduced. Now it's still in introduced mode. It doesn't say that it's passed anything. And again, y'all, this is not the first time that it has been introduced, but it never gets passed. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Yes, you should be surprised. Thank you so much for that, Ivory. Right? It is so important for us to understand when these bills get passed. The quickest way for you to do that is to stop hearing everything and taking it as law that people are talking about online. And let's dig deep to find out what the real rules of these new bills and stuff that are being passed is. So what will you need? A form of identification issued consistent with the requirements of the Real ID Act. Y'all, the Real ID Act is already in effect. I have a Real ID. Lord, I didn't change my last name, but not on purpose. Right? So you good. You good, Deals with Nia. You see what I'm saying? So what they're trying to do is to find ways to keep us from voting. For those of us who are married, I'm not married. I ain't never been married. I don't know what that looks like. And sometimes I'm grateful because most of my married friends are miserable. Okay, that's a whole different conversation for another day. Stop. You, my friend is sitting here. You're like, yes. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. All right. So you'll need a form of identification issued consistent with the requirements of the Real ID Act of 2005. Right. Just got the number 3. Okay. Oh, well, thank you. So are you saying what you, right. You either, right. I'm unbothered by that because y'all stressed all the way out all the daggone time. I'm just keeping it real. Right. Okay. So the Real ID Act of 2005, if your ID has been changed since then or it's expired, I just got another one. I've gotten my second Real ID. Okay? Because it was time for me to renew. The next time I have to renew is 2032. Oh my God, today I'll be in my 60s. Okay? So I already have it. So just know that the same rules are going to apply here. What do you need? You'll need, in order for you to get your voter registration, the applicant's official United States, here's what you need. A form of identification issued consistent with the requirements of the Real ID Act. What did you need? You needed your birth certificate, right? You needed your birth certificate. Same thing, a valid United States passport. The applicant's official United States military identification can be used together with a U.S. military record of service showing that the applicant's place of birth was in the United States. They just want to make sure that you are a U.S. citizen and that your first and last name match. Okay? A valid government issued photo ID card issued by a federal, state, or tribal government other than an identification described in these paragraphs. A certified birth certificate issued by a state, unit of local government or tribal government in which the applicant was born, was filed with the office responsible for keeping vital records in the state. So just get your birth certificate, folks. But your name has to match. Therein lies the key. And y'all know that most women, when they get married in red states, I did my research, change their last name to that of their spouse. Okay? So there's that. I need you all to be aware what the SAVE Act is. Do not be alarmed. It has been introduced. And if anybody want to come and bring the smoke, send them to congress.gov because it's in your face. Okay? All right. Now, it has to list the names of one or both of the parents of the applicant on your birth certificate. It has to have your place of birth. Just get you a birth certificate with the seal on it from Vital Records, or go down to your local courthouse if you still live in the city you were born in and go get your record. Well, what if my big mama don't have one? Da, da, da. Go get her one. Go get your pawpaw one. We joke about it, but after the 7 years now, I'm definitely not in no rush. There you go. If you're not in a rush, you already know your marriage strong and you're not worried about whether or not you got his last name. Don't worry about it. Y'all married. Y'all got churn. Yes. Kelly kept her last. I love that. Right. See, my sister kept her last name. My sister, may she rest in peace. Right. So there you go. Remember that. All right. If you have a final adoption decree because your name may have changed, naturalization certificate or certificate of citizenship, you just have to prove who you are. But what they're trying to do is add this little caveat, and what it will do is it's going to require applicants to present documentary proof of their United States citizenship. Can I keep it 100 with y'all? This is not the boogeyman. This is the same information used for the Real ID Act of 2005. What it can do is, if your names do not match, it can impact your ability to be able to vote, to register to vote, because it has to match. Okay? Will you have to change your last name? Will they have to add a caveat to this in order for this to make sense? I would think so. But if they are choosing not to, then that's telling me everything that I need to know, because according to we're going to call it the 2025 project, they only want the head of the household, one vote per household, which would be the man. Did y'all know that? Oh, okay. You didn't, y'all wasn't a part of those lives when I was reading the entire project to y'all. Oh, okay. We're going to have to go back. I'm going to have to find out and see. I'm going to have to go see. Yeah. This is real, y'all. And what's happening is they want this to pass because they want as much power as they can get. Can I put it like that? And with less people who look like me and have the same gender as me that are able to vote, and y'all know which way I vote, the more that's going to look like they can stay where they are. Does that make sense? I'm trying to use my words carefully, and y'all know why. Make sense? If you want more information about this, I need you to do your due diligence and go to congress.gov and look up the SAVE Act. No S, the SAVE Act. I was in such a rush when I did my little video today. I was like, oh, I'm going to come talk about the SAVE Act. No, it's the SAVE Act, right? And it'll list what actions have been taken, the titles, any amendments, who the co-sponsors of this bill are, what committees are on it. And this is also going to help you. Let me tell you why. Because not one Democrat has sponsored this bill. You need to find your state. If you are against this, you need to find your state and start making calls to your local and to your local Senate's office. Okay? Y'all do know that you have the right to do this. See, here's something else. Let's talk about this, shall we? While we learn and stuff, you do know that you can call your local Senate office. You can call your congressman. You do know they work for you, right? Let me sip my water on that. Because I think y'all forgot. Y'all must have forgot that they work for the people. You hear me? They work for us. Hey there, how are you? Come on in here. I need y'all to hear me. The SAVE Act has not even passed the House. I don't know who's out here passing these lies, but dig deep and you'll recognize that it's been reintroduced. This is not the first time that the SAVE Act has come up. Be concerned and start making the necessary emails and calls to your senator's office, to the congressman that should be representing you. This is where your power comes in. Use it. And let's stop getting on these applications and in our emails and in our private groups and on these talk soups and having conversations and let these people know that I know you work for me. Every time you get your paycheck, you ought to be reminded that a portion of your check is going for these people to live very, very well and make decisions that are either good or bad for you. And you think that you have no say? I'm sorry. It's time for us to get up, folks. It's time for us to get up. I'm going to tell you something that I learned a long time ago as a young woman who was a young mother with no help, no support, no nothing. Ain't nobody coming to save you. You hear me? Ain't nobody coming to save you. That's right. There you go, darling, 1979. She said, I am going to start calling every Friday with the topics of the week. Come on, somebody. Yes. With the topics of the week, say what you want and what you don't want. But you must remember, get the facts right first before you go down there calling. Because the videos that I've been seeing today said the SAVE Act had passed. It hasn't. It has not, folks. It's been reintroduced. This ain't the first time. And this goes for anything. Y'all tired of what's going on? You got to open your mouth. Stop asking people to come save you. Ain't nobody coming to save us but us. Oh, I sound like somebody big mama. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Darn it. You got to know your rights. You sitting up in here paying taxes every single pay period, people. If you a 1099, if you're a business owner like me, Uncle Sam coming for you. You better have your numbers right and pay your taxes accordingly. Or not, if you got a great accountant. Okay? You paying your taxes. Every time you look at your paycheck, listen, every time you look at your paycheck, you should be like, oh, hell no, where my phone at? You need to be like this. Okay? Wait. Mr. Senator's office, please. Yes. My name is XYZ and I live in District X, Y, and Z and so forth and carry on and to the nth degree. I want to talk about the SAVE Act. You better not sign it. Okay, bye. Talk to you next week, Friday. You should be like this on your tablet, right? Or your computer. Miss Senator, right. If we really want a Facebook thug, TikTok thug, YouTube thug, let's use the power of the people. I'm not playing. I know I sound crazy, but this is the only way I know how to tell it. We sitting up in here playing. Where are leaders? Where are the leaders? We voted them in. Now, stop thinking somebody coming to save you. I saw a video and she was very fair. I'm going to have to share. I'm going to have to do it and share with y'all. Oh, she was on point now. She said, where are our elected officials? Where are the leaders that we voted in? Baby, we're the leaders. This is a new era. If you all are not paying attention to the change that is happening in media and how we get our news and information and how our leaders are being impacted as well. I had a whole video that I show a woman, 83 years old, getting ready to run for another seat in Congress, 83 years old, asking a man to move, Hold on, because TikTok said I've been here a little while. I got to prove I'm real. All right, asking a man to move out the way because Elon Musk was on the inside. That's what I don't get. Why would they have armed guards at the Department of Education? Here's a bigger question. Why would anybody want to be the armed guards? How much are y'all getting paid, brother? Because that's who it was. Let's talk about that. I couldn't believe it. Y'all standing there looking real official with your guns and look like you done had a whole bean salad before you came and showed up to work. Gut out like this. Yeah. Standing there with your gun and just, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we accepting? Get on your phones and stop thugging in these internet streets. Do you not know they see us? We out here crying and whining. We got some people that voted for this. Now all of us got to fuck around and find out together. And you ought to be hot as fish grease. Especially if you're one of the 92%. Especially if you're one of the 88%. You ought to be hot. That the $15 million that was spent for you to go to a Super Bowl game could have went to feed some children who are hungry at school. Talking out the side of your neck. Don't get me started. Ooh, don't get me started. Okay, I'm cropped now. Let me stop. Let me calm down. All right, for those of you who are new here, I'm Paulette. I am the owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide. Let me put my professional face on. I don't know how to do that. Listen, go on over to brownstoneworldwide.com, Cityscape Radio. You can also check out Brownstone Living Magazine. The link is in my bio. Go ahead and check us out. All right. Now, did y'all notice that the Gulf of Mexico now says the Gulf of America? Just like he said, ooh, such a wonderful use of resources, isn't it? Ooh, child. All right. And Pastor Carlton Lynch. I'm going to be sharing this one on brownstoneworldwide.com. He was protest, big mama, period, with that weak ass. Whoa. Somebody said the halftime show was weak. Let's talk about that. It was intentional, the whole thing. Let's talk about it. I'm going to give you some details to pay attention to next time you rewatch it. For anybody that feels like the halftime show was weak, let's dig in a little bit deeper. I watched it the first time and I was looking for the signs and the innuendos and all of the things, right? Because I wanted him to go, we go be all right? I wanted him to, no, all my life I had to fight, right? That's what we wanted to see, right? We wanted to see the jig and we wanted to see the dancing. Let me tell you something. This cat, Pulitzer Prize winning rapper, won Album of the Year. Let's talk about the symbolisms throughout the entire thing. And then I want y'all to go back and watch it. It was so symbolic. Yes, it was. Kendrick Lamar literally used this stage as a solo rapper. Now, of course, he brought in SZA, and then he had like, what's that child's name? The tennis player, Serena Williams, doing the crip walking and all of that, right? Cool, I get it. But here's what I want to. Not the bean salad. Yes, the bean salad girl like this. Just be standing at the door, right? Okay, so listen. I want you all to understand that everything he did was about a game. At the beginning of the show, it lit up on the screen and it said, it said wrong way. Then he said, the revolution will be televised. You picked the right time and the wrong guy. Who y'all think he was talking about? First of all, the revolution will be televised is a play on the words from the poet Gil Scott-Heron, who had an entire poem called The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. And he was talking about the renewing of your mind. If you are not of that era and you've never heard it, you definitely need to go and check it out. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution will not be. It's amazing. And he talks about how you grow in the mind and how you change, right? You won't be able to see that. But this kind of change that we're dealing with, you're seeing it in real time. And it is being televised. You picked the right time, but the wrong guy. Baby, he wasn't talking about himself. He said, we picked the wrong guy. He talked about 40 acres and a mule, didn't he? He talked about that. The platform that they were on was literally a PlayStation game console. Did y'all pay attention to that? Yeah. He had Samuel L. Jackson play Uncle Sam. And what Sam Jackson was doing was he was narrating the whole thing about how America wants us to act. Don't be too ghetto now. Let's not do this. Stay in your place. Let's be safe out there. The whole time you're playing the American game. Game. But not the game that we know how to play. Do you see what I'm saying? We wanted what we saw with Usher. We wanted what we saw when Dr. Dre did his thing and we got introduced to him. But he was making an awesome statement throughout the whole thing. And what he was saying at the end, turn the TV off. Game over. He said so much. How many of you all are aware about the 40 acres and a mule? Well, let's talk about it briefly. After the Emancipation Proclamation, the government promised freedmen that they would get 40 acres and a mule so that they could build their own crops and do whatever they needed to do. Well, let me tell you what happened. It did occur. Some people got a plot of 5 acres. Some people got a plot of 10. They got their plots of land. Some people, listen very closely. Well, once Abraham Lincoln was no longer, and y'all know what happened to him. I want to be careful. He was unalived, right? By James Wilkes Booth, right? He was unalived. A very racist president stepped in and rescinded all of that. And they went and moved those people off of the property that they had been promised and gave it back to their slave owners. Did y'all know that? That's the promise that was rescinded. And some never got. A lot of people don't know that they did get the land. Some people did. And then they went back and took it back. Right? Let's see. I feel like he was saying, don't give your attention and get. That's right. At least Lil Wayne would have shown his people what it was like. And here's the thing on that, Helen. What I will say is this. He would have, but I'm going to keep it 100. Would he have been coherent enough to pull it off? They needed somebody that could be coherent and to make the statement necessary. When Jay-Z and that team chose who they did that with a purpose. That was very strategic. Lil Wayne could not have pulled off what Kendrick Lamar did. There was no way. He couldn't have done it. We would have been slurred with purple syrup for an entire 13 to 15 minutes. And that's okay. The person that needed to be the voice and be the good trouble for that moment was done. I think it was deeper than we was looking for. Exactly. We wanted to jam. I wanted to get up and be like, hey, A minor. And when I sat back, because at first I was like, what's happening? And I went back and I watched it again and I went, oh my God. Even when they had the dancers with the red, white, and blue on, and they were in prison uniforms, and they got together and leaned over, that was a statement by itself, because what he said was, without saying a word, was, this American country was built off of the backs of Black and brown people. But we missed that. And that's a play on a picture from the 1940s, from World War II. When I find it again, I'm going to show y'all. Yeah. With a man standing in the middle and everybody else kind of leaning over to the side, I'm not going to do the sign that they were doing with their arms. It was much deeper than many of us really, really realize. And I'm glad we're having this conversation. But it takes me back to this. What's something that I always say, the power of collective consciousness can never be denied, because it cannot. The power is in the people. The power is in the people. When this live ends, please know that it is really up to you to do your due diligence. And like Darling 1979 said over here, oh baby, I'm getting ready to start using my every Friday, first thing in the morning. Let me write down what the topics of the week are and what I agree and what you better not do. Because here's something else. They got voted in. We hired them. Guess what else we can do? We can vote their asses out. So what do you need to do? Vote. Vote. They were hoping some of us wouldn't do it. I'm just saying. I need us to start using our brains when we out here in these streets and we doing the thing and we living our lives and we trying to get the money, we trying to get all the things that we're supposed to get. Yes, get it. But please understand that when they have your best interest at heart, it is because you did your due diligence and got the right people in. There's somebody right now that can't work a full-time job because they're too sick and they need food stamps. There are people right now that still can't get their benefits that were cut off a couple weeks ago because of this foolery. Think about the trickle-down effect that that's going to have on housing, on landlords getting their money, on businesses being able to be sustainable. Because you got some 19-year-olds in there making decisions for grown folks with mortgages and houses and college kids and retirement to think about. And we just gonna sit here and be like, where's our leaders? Oh, hell no. Sip your coffee. Lastly, let's talk about, hello, Deals with me, say hello, yes. Come on, y'all. Last thing we're gonna talk about today. Pastor Carlton Lynch decided that he wanted to protest Target. Now, I know we talk about good trouble. We talk about these people who are our ancestors and our forefathers who marched when Dr. King marched and who, completed sit-ins and did the things and were a part of history in some way, form, or another through music and art and so forth. And we going to Target, Pastor Lynch, and we pulling all of the stuff off of the shelves. Hey there, how are you, Clarence, man? Good to see you, bro. We pulling everything off the shelves. Listen, and we dumping them in carts. That's not a protest, you buffoon. So let's be clear. Let's talk about Target just for a little bit before we start wrapping it up here. A couple of things that you need to know. A lot of people have decided to protest and boycott Target, but not only Target. There is an entire list of companies and businesses that have chosen to go back on their DEIA initiatives. I also want you all to understand a couple of things. Number one, they want you all to believe that DEI benefited African Americans, mainly African American women. However, the data supports that it was not Black women who benefited at all. It was white women. 4% of the benefits for DEIA literally was African American women. But they have this entire web. Did y'all know that they actually have this entire website up where you can actually see the people that they want to highlight who are DEIA or DEI, quote unquote DEI, and it's nothing but Black women, the majority of them, because they want you all to believe that Black folks benefited, and that's not true. We did not. This is coming from somebody who was the senior director of DEI for North America for the corporation that she worked for before they laid her off. The lack of support that I got, the lack of funding that I got, it was just a name. It was just a name. That was it. The lack of hand slaps I got for ideas and concepts that I wanted to implement. You can't do that. In other words, just sit here. That's all we want you to do. That's all we want you to do is just sit here. We don't want you to do nothing. Just sit here, be still. And then I was laid off. Now, that company that I worked for was not the only one that did it. But has it impacted me? Absolutely. I went from 6 figures to literally nothing overnight. Okay? So please understand that these companies know exactly what they're doing. Now, here we are. DEIA has been given a hard way to go. We have major supporters of anti-DEIA who say that's unconstitutional, it's racist, it's this, it's that. But I want y'all to understand something. Let me plug up this other phone because it'll be 20% and it'll freeze up on me on Facebook. I don't want it to do that. What I want you all to understand is that ultimately what they're trying to do is build this narrative that is not true, which is, I want y'all to understand that it's all about the Black folks. It's not. What they're doing is they're trying, you have to go. I hope you have a good day. You too, dear. Come back and see us. Okay? Come on back to the Brownstone. Thank you. Bye. Okay. What they want to do is build this narrative that it's about Black folks because they know that they can feed into the ideology that is racism in this country. And they're doing a damn good job. They got everybody believing that DEI is all about Black folks. And it's far from that. It impacts veterans. Accessibility is for people with disabilities. Did y'all know that? DEIA actually helps children who are disadvantaged in lower income areas. See, a lot of people don't know that it's bigger than just Black folks. Facts. It was never just about us. Never was. Okay? So when we have people like a Pastor Carlton Lynch who is doing foolish stuff like this, that tells me that you don't have a group of people who are getting with you to say, we need a plan. And therein lies why these boycotts are a joke. I said I wasn't going. It's a couple of stores I don't go to and spend my money. And if I choose to go, I go and get out. But it's certain places that cannot get my money. Target happens to be one of them. And guess what? It makes it easy because I hadn't been in over 3 years, no way. I ain't missing nothing I ain't got or had access to. And not because it's not 20 minutes from my house. Has nothing to do with it. I just don't go. So it was easy for me to say, okay, I'm not going to do that. But also, if I had to and be in an area, I wouldn't do it. I go somewhere else. That's why I try to shop local as much as possible. That's why I find local vendors here who are business owners that I know. Here's something else. If you're a business owner and if you have a list of the local businesses in your area that have the services that you desire, look them up and patronize them. We got to feed our families too, not just the big box retailers. Your hairdresser, are you paying them? Don't be looking for no deal. The Black business or the Native American business or the Latino business or wherever, or the woman business that is looking to sell you coffee, but you want to go to Starbucks, and Starbucks worth a couple billion. And they side by side make a decision to support your people. Because at the end of the day, these are the same people that are going to turn around and put that money back into the community where you live. Most of these big box retailers, they're only doing some of that because they have to. Not because they want to. It's good PR. Oh, my name will be all over the place. Listen, I joined the local chamber of commerce and I have met some amazing businesses of all races, colors, creeds who are wonderful people, Republican and Democrat, by the way, who are just good down home folks who want the best for their community and where they live. Find those people and patronize those folks first before you do anything else. Make your local dollars count. I do. I sure do. I find out who they are and I patronize them. But again, like I said, I'm also part of our Chamber of Commerce. I know who's who. Okay? Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it, Nicole. We appreciate you. So listen, so Pastor Carlton Lynch pulled this number. What I want us to do is to become more strategic. If we're going to do something and we're going to boycott, everybody come off social media. That's why we can't get nothing done, because we all on social media and telling our business and going live, and millions of people see it and be like, well, let's go ahead and have a big sale. And we right back in there. Come on, y'all. We got Zoom calls we could be on. We got private events that we can do, all kinds of things. We have more technology than we do at any other time in history, and we still not using it right. I love Black owned too, Helen. I really do, cuz I try my best. Okay? The Gulf of America. Y'all, they could have took my tax dollars and did something. And y'all should be like, wait a minute, you took my tax dollars to change some maps to say the Gulf of America because this fool. Go anywhere else to see if it still don't say Gulf of America. Gulf of Mexico. All right. All right now. That's all I got to say about that. Listen, up next, if you are not watching right now, Dr. Michelle Josie is currently live on BWTV, Brownstone Worldwide at brownstoneworldwide.com, and also live on YouTube, Brownstone Worldwide. The name of her show is Numbers Don't Lie. All right. Up next at 4 p.m. today, we have Coach Kiana Shaw, yes, and licensed marriage and family therapist Danielle Lipkin and their show, The Real on Parenting. Today, they are talking about when your ex still want you. Okay, now that's up next at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can make sure that you are checking it out on Brownstone Worldwide at BWTV. And also, go ahead and get that free issue. Go ahead. I said issue. Yes, I did. Don't be trying to correct me on today. All right. We covered a lot today, folks. We really did. But I want you all to go ahead and get your free digital issue of Brownstone Living Magazine. Once again, hold on. Y'all see, you hear that page turn. Mr. Freddie Taylor on the cover of Brownstone Living Magazine. You want your free issue? It is on the Facebook page right now. You can go ahead and tap the link and check it out. And then thank you so much, Deals with Nia. I appreciate you. You can tell I'm bringing it down 1,000. All right. Go over to my stand store right now. If you did not get your free issue of Brownstone Living Magazine for December, where I'm on the cover, go ahead and get that. That's because we're talking about the Circle of Excellence, the Black businesses that we recognized last year. Okay, we're going to be doing the same. We're going to start taking votes in April. Okay, now I'm on the cover. You can see my story, all the fun things and what I talked about. Somebody made me write that article. I didn't want to write an article. It's not about me. I'm just a conduit. Okay. So you can see my story and all that and everything. And then January, we had my good friend from Arrested Development, Miss Ishii, on the cover. Again, go to my stand store because her issue is there as well. And then this month's issue with Black history and all the things. Okay. All right, you guys. Now, remember, do your 6 list. Get your pen, get your paper. What are the 6 most important things that you need to do? Yes, I'm getting ready to run too. Thank you so much for joining us today. All right. Get your 6 list. Join us every day. Hey, LaShawn, come on in here, girl. We was just talking about the information you gave us on Pastor Carlton Lynch. We talked about that. Now, here's what I need you all to do. Do the 6 most important things that you got to do for today. Cross them off as you finish them. If you don't finish everything today, put it on your priority list for the 6 most important things that you have to do tomorrow and continue in that fashion. Listen, once again, I'm Paulette. I am the owner and founder of Brownstone Worldwide, Cityscape Radio, the website and the app of the same name, and Brownstone Living Magazine. You have hung out with me today on and in the Brownstone for more news and information that you can use on Tips, Topics, and Talk. Come and hang out with me tomorrow. Listen, 3 things that I always like to tell you guys before we leave every single show. 1, love your life. It is the only one that you have. 2, live your life to the fullest and embrace everything that is your life because one day you won't be here. You might as well enjoy it. And lastly, breathe through every single moment. We'll see you around.